Doc Holliday was a famous American gambler, so over the years, people have wanted to know the real reason for his death, including how he died and what happened to him. The purpose of this video is to examine what actually transpired, what caused Holliday's death, and the fact that he was a murderer. In terms of killers, America has seen many, including Jeffrey Dahmer, one of the most well-known criminals in the country's history. In this sense, Doc Holliday was akin to that, whose past many people are interested in learning about. And as a result, it's probable that some of you are unaware of Doc Holliday. He was a dentist, a gambler, and a gunfighter in America. Despite having a dental degree and being a graduate student, he turned into a professional gambler who caused a lot of problems in his life. People also want to know what caused Doc Holliday's death. Sources claim that Doc Holliday's death was caused by tuberculosis. Many people who relied on this prodigy's display and abilities will miss him. We regret to inform you that this legend spent years making the world a better place. Doc Holliday's legacy will be told now that he is no longer with us. Let's include it in our prayers so that Doc Holliday's family will have greater strength to deal with losing him. Since Doc Holliday was such a divisive and well-known person in American history, he usually engaged in gambling while working as a dentist, which completely upended his life. He is most known for his involvement in the Arizona firefight in 1881. The discovery that he had tuberculosis, a bacterial illness of the lungs, put an end to half of his life, though. And so, although the condition caused him far greater physical anguish, he was only 20 years old when he received the diagnosis of that illness. He started suffering severe coughing and respiratory issues, so when he saw his doctor, they really suggested that he move to a much drier area for his health and start taking medicine. And so, in 1887, he relocated to Colorado, a state renowned for its hot springs and for having hotter and drier weather than other states. He also began to have a dry cough, which led to the development of a chronic cough and a fever. Sadly, he passed away at the age of 36, which was a very young age for anyone to pass away. Lung tuberculosis has been identified as the official cause of death. However, there is also evidence that he was a heavy drinker and a fanatical smoker, which may have contributed to his deteriorating physical health and way of life. But there have also been allegations that he was poisoned by someone seeking retribution for his participation in the shooting at the OK Corral. While there is no concrete evidence to back up this claim, it does not rule out the possibility that it could have happened. Doc Holliday is renowned for being a gambler since he was a practicing dentist. He was notorious for becoming involved in some very criminal crimes, including robbery and other criminal operations, even after participating repeatedly in the gunfight at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona, in 1881. And the gunfight at Tombstone, Arizona, in 1881, was where he committed some of his most heinous crimes. However, when he was only 20 years old and was diagnosed with tuberculosis, his entire life came to an end. The most well-known homicide in which Doc Holliday's involvement was fully acknowledged occurred during the legendary gunfight at the OK Corral in Arizona in 1881, during which 3 men were actually murdered. Doc Holliday was involved in a number of other murders at the time. It is debatable whether to label Doc Holliday a murderer or not, however. In the incident involving the gunfight near the OK Corral, Holliday and his comrades were actually attempting to uphold the law against the participants. Despite the fact that some people think their acts were acceptable, others don't think Doc Holliday was a good man at all. Even physically, he appeared ferocious. He was once more connected to numerous murderers as a result. He actually took part in a shooting in a salon in Las Vegas, Mexico, in 1879, killing Mike Gordon in the process. Some people continue to believe this because he has a history of committing murder. However, some do not think he was a murderer. Hence, this is a hotly contested issue. While the official cause of Doc Holliday's death was attributed to lung tuberculosis, there have been lingering questions surrounding the circumstances that led to his demise. As with many legends and infamous figures, speculation and theories abound. Some believe that the tuberculosis alone was responsible for his deteriorating health and ultimate demise, while others suggest alternative explanations, such as foul play or the consequences of his reckless lifestyle. One prevailing theory proposes that Doc Holliday's heavy drinking and relentless smoking played a significant role in his declining physical health. The excessive consumption of alcohol and his addiction to tobacco likely exacerbated the symptoms of tuberculosis, hastening his untimely death. These vices, often associated with his hard-edged persona, were likely contributing factors to his ill health. However, there are those who go even further suggesting that Doc Holliday may have been deliberately poisoned as an act of retribution for his involvement in the infamous shooting at the OK Corral. Although no concrete evidence exists to substantiate this claim, it remains within the realm of possibility. In the lawless and chaotic world of the Wild West, where violence and vendettas were all too common, acts of revenge were not unheard of. Despite the controversies surrounding his character and actions, there is no denying the impact Doc Holliday had on the history of the American West. His name has become synonymous with the gunslingers and gamblers of that era, and his involvement in the gunfight at the OK Corral has cemented his place in the annals of American folklore. As the story continues, we delve deeper into the enigmatic life of Doc Holliday, exploring the circumstances that shaped him and the events that defined his legacy. From his early years as a dentist-turned-gambler to his notorious involvement in criminal activities, the complexities of his character are unveiled. While some viewed him as a murderous outlaw, others saw him as a man of questionable morality, but one who was nonetheless driven by a sense of justice. The gunfight at the OK Corral, in particular, became a focal point of this debate, with proponents arguing that he and his comrades were merely upholding the law, while detractors believed their actions were fueled by personal vendettas and a propensity for violence. The story takes us beyond the dusty streets of Tombstone, Arizona, as we uncover additional incidents where Doc Holliday's involvement in violence and bloodshed came to light. From the fatal shooting in a salon in Las Vegas, Mexico, to other accounts of his participation in criminal acts, the line between myth and reality becomes blurred. As we navigate through Doc Holliday's tumultuous life, the complexities of his character emerge. Beneath the rough exterior and hardened demeanor, we catch glimpses of a man haunted by his past and grappling with his own demons. Despite the conflicting opinions about his moral compass, there is an undeniable allure to the figure of Doc Holliday, a man who defied societal expectations and carved his own path through the unforgiving landscape of the American West. In the final chapters of this epic saga, we witness the gradual decline of Doc Holliday's health and the toll it takes on his body. The coughing fits and respiratory issues intensify, and he finds solace in the dry climate of Colorado, hoping for relief from the ravages of tuberculosis. Ultimately, Doc Holliday succumbs to the disease at the age of 36, leaving behind a legacy that continues to captivate and intrigue to this day. Whether he was a misunderstood anti-hero or a cold-blooded killer, the story of Doc Holliday serves as a reminder of the complexities of human nature and the enduring allure of the Wild West. As we bid farewell to this legendary figure, we reflect on the impact he had on those around him and the mark he left on the pages of history. Doc Holliday's name will forever be associated with the lawless frontier, where gunslingers and gamblers sought their fortunes and carved their names into the fabric of the American story. And so, the truth behind Doc Holliday's death remains shrouded in mystery. Was it tuberculosis alone that claimed his life, or were there darker forces at play? The debate continues, fueling the fascination with this enigmatic gunslinger and ensuring that his legend lives on. As we conclude this exploration into the life and death of Doc Holliday, we are left with a sense of awe and wonder at the enduring power of his story. From the dusty saloons to the blood-soaked streets, his footsteps echo through the corridors of time, forever etching his name into the tapestry of the American West. And as the sun sets on this chapter of history, we bid Doc Holliday a final farewell, knowing that his legend will live on, captivating and inspiring future generations.